If I give you 6 months, just 6 months, to change your life forever, would you still wake up tomorrow the same way you did today? Or would you finally decide that enough is enough? The first and most crucial step in any transformation journey is clarity. Without clarity, even the hardest work becomes directionless. Imagine running a race with no finish line. You'd eventually get tired, confused, and quit. That's what happens when people live without a clear goal. They wake up every day, follow the same routine, and call it life. They think they're moving, but in truth, they're just spinning in circles. To transform your life in 6 months, you must begin by setting a vision so clear that it pulls you forward every single day. This vision should not be a vague dream like, I want success or I want happiness. Those are emotions, not goals. A clear vision is measurable. It has a shape, a timeline, and a reason that burns in your heart. You must sit down with yourself. No noise, no phone, no distractions, and ask, what do I truly want my life to look like 6 months from today? Don't answer too quickly. Think deeply. Do you want to improve your finances? Build a new skill. Start your own business. Transform your health. Strengthen your mindset. Whatever it is, write it down. When you write your goals, they stop being dreams. They become commitments. And commitments change everything. People who don't write their goals drift. People who do drive. The difference between a wish and a vision is structure. A wish lives in the air. A vision lives on paper. It's the foundation on which you'll build your habits, your schedule, and your decisions. 6 months might sound short, but with crystal clear direction, it's more than enough to reinvent yourself. Once you've written your vision, the next step is understanding your why. Why do you want this change? Why does it matter now? Because the truth is, your why will fuel you when things get hard, and they will get hard. Every journey of transformation faces resistance from within, from others, and from circumstances. But if your why is strong, no setback can stop you. People give up not because they lack time or talent, but because they forget why they started. Your reason must touch your heart. Maybe you want to give your parents a better life. Maybe you're tired of living average. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can rise again. Whatever it is, it must move you emotionally. Emotion gives energy, and energy sustains action. Without emotion, goals fade like smoke. The third step in building clarity is visualization. Don't just write your goal. See it, feel it, live it in your imagination every day. Close your eyes and picture yourself achieving it. Feel the excitement of waking up to the life you desire. Visualization is not fantasy, it's focus training. Your mind needs to see where you're going before your body can move there. The greatest athletes, performers, and entrepreneurs practice visualization because it rewires the brain to believe it's possible. And when your brain believes something is possible, your actions start aligning naturally. You wake up earlier, you think smarter, you push harder. Not because someone told you to, but because your mind has already tasted victory. 6 months of living with a vision that feels real can do more for you than 6 years of random effort. However, clarity also requires elimination. You can't move toward everything at once. Many people fail because they try to chase too many goals, and in the end, they catch none. Choose 1 or 2 core goals that truly matter. Ask yourself, if I could only achieve one thing in the next 6 months that would change my life, what would it be? Focus on that. Once your energy is divided, your progress disappears. You cannot climb 10 mountains at the same time. Pick one and give it everything you've got. Simplicity is power. When your vision is focused, your decisions become easier. Every time you're tempted to waste time, your vision will whisper, is this helping me get closer to my goal? That question alone can save you months of distraction. Next, turn your vision into a plan. Dreams inspire, but plans build. Take your big 6-month goal and break it into monthly, weekly, and daily steps. If your goal is to lose weight, plan your diet, your workouts, and your accountability system. If your goal is to start a business, plan your learning, your savings, and your first small launch. Clarity doesn't mean knowing every step from the beginning. It means knowing your next step and taking it. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just the first few steps. The clearer your next move, the faster you gain momentum. Every day, you'll know exactly what to do instead of wondering where to start. Progress loves precision. A small, consistent plan beats a big, unclear dream every time. Finally, remember that clarity is not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. You must remind yourself of your vision every morning. Read it, speak it, feel it, because the world is noisy and everyday distractions will try to make you forget who you are and where you're going. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when the progress feels invisible, when you question whether the vision is worth it. In those moments, clarity will be your anchor. It will bring you back to focus, to purpose, to the reason you started. Your mind is like a lens. When it's blurry, everything seems impossible. But when you sharpen it, you can see opportunity even in chaos. 6 months of crystal clear vision can turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. Because when you know exactly what you want, the world begins to show you how to get it. If vision is the engine that drives your transformation, then discipline is the fuel that keeps it running when the excitement fades. The truth about success is simple but uncomfortable. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence or opportunity. They fail because they cannot stay consistent. They start strong for a week, then stop when it gets boring. They do it when they feel inspired, but quit when it feels hard. But success doesn't care about your moods. It rewards only the ones who show up no matter what. That's why in your 6-month plan, you must make discipline your closest friend. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to do it. It's about choosing growth over comfort, consistency over chaos, and purpose over pleasure. Motivation is a spark. It can light the fire, but it burns out quickly. Discipline is the fire itself. You don't wake up every day feeling excited to work, study, or improve. Some mornings, you'll feel tired, frustrated, or lost. And that's when most people give up. But disciplined people push through those moments because they understand something simple: success doesn't require constant excitement. It requires constant effort. When you replace, "I'll do it when I feel like it," with, "I'll do it because I said I would," you start to gain power over yourself. And once you have control over yourself, you can achieve anything. You can't control luck, the economy, or other people, but you can control your actions. And that's where real freedom begins. To build ruthless discipline, you must first build structure. Discipline thrives on routine. When you plan your day in advance, when you know what you'll do, when you'll do it, and why, you remove space for laziness to creep in. Set fixed times for your priorities: study hours, workout time, reading time, work time. Treat them like appointments with your future self that you can't miss. Don't rely on willpower, rely on systems. If you leave your goals to random chance, your emotions will win every time. But when your schedule is clear and your environment supports it, you make discipline easier. For example, if you want to work out, keep your shoes ready the night before. If you want to study, keep your phone in another room. Small systems create big results. It's not about being strict. It's about being strategic. The second pillar of discipline is self-accountability. No one is coming to save you. No one will chase you every morning to make sure you follow your plan. You must become your own coach. Track your progress daily. Write what you accomplished, what you missed, and why. Don't lie to yourself. Honesty is power. If you fail one day, don't spend time feeling guilty. Analyze, adjust, and restart. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is that the first group learns from failure. The second group hides from it. Hold yourself to the same standard you expect from others. When you say you'll do something, do it, even if no one is watching. That's how trust is built, not with others, but within yourself. When you can trust your own word, you become unstoppable. Another secret to discipline is learning to delay gratification. We live in a world that sells comfort at every corner. Social media, junk food, entertainment, everything designed to give quick pleasure and long-term regret. But the disciplined person understands this truth. What feels good now often costs you later, and what costs you now often rewards you later. Every time you resist an impulse, you strengthen your character. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to your destiny. Remember this: the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. So whenever you feel like quitting, tell yourself, "I'm not doing this for today's pleasure. I'm doing it for tomorrow's power. 6 months of strict discipline will give you a lifetime of confidence. Lastly, discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You will fall off track. That's normal. What matters is how quickly you get back up. Consistency isn't doing everything right all the time. It's refusing to stop, even when you fail. The people who look unshakable are not perfect. They are just relentless. They don't wait for the right mood or the right conditions. They act through both sunshine and storm. Discipline is like a muscle. Every time you use it, it grows. The first few weeks will be hard, but soon the habits will take over. What once felt painful will start to feel natural. You won't need to push yourself. You'll be pulled by momentum. When that happens, you'll realize that success isn't built on big moments. It's built on quiet, daily victories no one else sees. And so, the core of discipline is this: you must master yourself before you can master anything else. The battle is not against time, competition, or luck. It's against your own comfort. Every morning when you wake up, you face two voices. One says, sleep a little longer. And the other says, get up and work for your dream. The voice you listen to decides your future. For the next 6 months, let discipline be your voice. Let it remind you that success is not built by the loudest dreamer, but by the most consistent doer. Because when motivation disappears, and it will, discipline will still be there, quietly building your tomorrow. If there's one truth about the modern world, it's this: the only constant is change. What worked yesterday may fail tomorrow. The skill that earned you respect today might become irrelevant next year. That's why learning isn't an option anymore. It's survival. In your 6-month transformation plan, make one promise to yourself: you will never go to bed the same person you woke up as. Every single day must add something new to your mind, no matter how small, because the more you learn, the more valuable you become. Knowledge multiplies your choices, strengthens your confidence, and shapes your perspective. You can lose money, status, even opportunities. But the one thing no one can take away is what's inside your mind. And that is why learning is the greatest investment you will ever make. But let's be honest, most people stop learning the moment they leave school. They think education ends with a degree, but real education begins when school ends. The world keeps evolving, but they stop. They complain that life is unfair, not realizing that the problem isn't life, it's their outdated mindset. If you want to transform in 6 months, you must become a student of life, not just a survivor in it. Every day, feed your mind like you feed your body. Read books, watch lectures, listen to podcasts, and learn from people who've walked the path you're starting on. Even 1 page a day, 1 video a day, 1 new idea a day, they add up. 6 months from now, you'll think differently, speak differently, and act differently, because your mind will have evolved. The greatest learners are not those who know the most, but those who are curious enough to ask questions. Curiosity is the spark that lights the fire of growth. Don't be afraid to admit you don't know something. Too many people let ego block their progress. They pretend to know instead of learning to know. Be humble enough to start again, to be a beginner in something new. Every master was once a student who refused to quit. When you ask questions, you open doors. When you stop asking, you lock yourself inside comfort. Ask, how can I do this better? What can I learn from this failure? Who can teach me something I don't see? Those who keep learning never truly lose, because every failure becomes a lesson, every obstacle becomes a teacher, and every day becomes an opportunity to grow. Learning also means adapting. The world rewards adaptability more than intelligence. You can't cling to old habits and expect new results. In these 6 months, challenge your brain to think differently. Learn new technologies, new skills, or even new ways of communicating. For example, if you're a student, don't just rely on your textbooks. Learn digital tools, explore online courses, study how people succeed in your field. If you're working, learn leadership, communication, and problem solving, the skills that automation can't replace. Every time you upgrade your skills, you upgrade your future. Remember, if you don't learn how to change, the world will change without you. You don't have to know everything, but you do have to keep evolving. Stagnation is the slow death of potential. Another secret to learning relentlessly is application. Knowledge without action is noise. You can read 100 books, but if you don't apply what you learn, nothing changes. When you learn something new, use it immediately. Teach it, test it, or turn it into a habit. Learning sticks when it's lived. If you study confidence, practice speaking up. If you learn about health, start exercising. If you study time management, plan your next day better. Don't become a collector of information. Become a creator of transformation. The best learners are doers. They learn, apply, fail, adjust, and grow. Every action you take reinforces what you learn, and every result, good or bad, becomes a feedback loop that sharpens your understanding. In 6 months of applied learning, you'll gain more wisdom than others do in 6 years of passive reading. Finally, understand that learning is a lifelong commitment, not a 6-month project. The 6-month plan is your launch pad, a period to develop the habit of learning daily. But once you taste growth, you'll never want to stop. The world belongs to those who learn faster than change itself. And remember, learning isn't limited to books or courses. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every mistake you make, all of them carry lessons. Pay attention. Reflect on your days. Ask yourself each night, what did I learn today that made me better than yesterday? That simple question keeps your mind alive. The more you learn, the more confident you become, because knowledge replaces fear with clarity. And once you start living with that clarity, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. So, during these 6 months, treat your mind like sacred ground. Protect it from garbage. Feed it with ideas that build you. Every morning, choose one thing to learn, and every night, write one thing you understood better. Learning is the quiet revolution that turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be willing to grow when others stay still. Because in a world where everyone wants results overnight, the learner who grows daily wins every time. If there is one invisible force that shapes your success faster than anything else, it's the people you spend your time with. Your circle can either build you or break you. You can have the biggest dreams, the strongest plans, and the best discipline. But if you live in an environment full of negativity, you will eventually lose your spark. Energy is contagious. Sit with 5 motivated people and you'll become the 6th. Sit with 5 complainers and you'll start complaining too. That's how powerful influence is. So in your 6-month transformation plan, be intentional about who you allow into your space. Your environment is not just where you live, it's what you hear, what you see, what you absorb every day. If you want to grow, your circle must be full of people who are growing too. Many people never reach their potential because they stay surrounded by those who make them feel comfortable in mediocrity. They don't realize they're being held back, not by enemies, but by familiar faces who discourage their change. You'll notice this when you start improving yourself. Some people will mock your discipline, laugh at your goals, or say, "You've changed." And they'll say it like it's a bad thing. But remember this, you're not supposed to stay the same. Growth means change, and change means leaving behind those who refuse to evolve with you. Don't let guilt tie you to environments that drain you. You don't owe anyone your stagnation. If your friends don't celebrate your progress, it's a sign that they're not growing. And you can't shrink yourself to make them comfortable. Instead, you must seek out people who challenge you. Growth-minded people won't flatter you. They'll push you. They'll question your excuses, correct your mistakes, and remind you of your goals when you start slipping. They're not always the easiest people to be around, but they are the most valuable. Because while comfort feels good in the short term, accountability builds greatness in the long term. Surround yourself with those who talk about ideas, opportunities, and solutions, not those who gossip, complain, or blame. Spend time with people who make you think bigger, not smaller. And if you can't find such people in your immediate circle, find them through books, podcasts, or online communities. You don't have to know them personally to learn from them. A mentor you've never met can still change your life through their words and example. The quality of your conversations determines the quality of your growth. So start listening to conversations that stretch your mindset. When you sit with growth-minded people, the energy is different. They speak with purpose, they dream with courage, and they act with conviction. They don't waste time comparing or competing. They collaborate and inspire. They see your success not as a threat, but as a reflection of what's possible. In 6 months, you'll see how much difference this makes. When your circle grows sharper, your thinking sharpens too. You start believing in bigger things because you see them being done by those around you. Confidence is contagious, and so is courage. That's why your environment can accelerate your transformation faster than effort alone, because it multiplies your belief in what's possible. Now, it's also important to protect your energy from toxic influences. This doesn't always mean cutting people off completely. Sometimes it just means creating distance. Limit your time with those who drain your spirit, argue for limitations, or constantly remind you of your past. Protect your focus from negativity disguised as advice. You'll notice that when you begin to elevate your habits, not everyone will cheer for you. Some will project their fears onto you, saying, "Be realistic," or "It's not that easy." Smile and thank them, but continue walking your path. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove yourself right. 6 months of peace and positive energy are far more valuable than 6 years of toxic comfort. Learn to walk alone if you must, because when you walk with purpose, the right people will eventually walk with you. Finally, remember this truth. Your circle is your mirror. If you want to predict your future, look at the people you spend the most time with. Are they growing? Are they disciplined? Do they inspire you to rise higher? If not, it's time to change your surroundings. Growth-minded people don't just lift you when you fall. They teach you how to stand taller next time. They remind you that failure is a lesson, that effort is never wasted, and that dreams are not foolish if you work for them. In 6 months, your progress will reflect the company you keep. Build a network that talks about goals, not gossip. Choose conversations that build your confidence, not your doubt. And most importantly, be the kind of person others want to grow around. Because when you become a source of inspiration yourself, you'll attract the very energy you've been searching for. The biggest lie people tell themselves is, "I'll start when the time is right." The truth is, there is no right time. There never was, and there never will be. Waiting for perfect conditions is the slowest way to destroy your dreams. People say they want to start a business, but they wait for more money. They want to learn a skill, but they wait for more time. They want to change their life, but they wait for the right mood, the right support, the right sign. And as they wait, months turn into years and dreams turn into regret. The people who actually change their lives don't wait for things to be perfect. They start while it's messy, uncertain, and uncomfortable. They understand that progress doesn't require perfection, it requires movement. In your 6-month plan, if you want transformation, you must become a person of action, someone who does not wait for luck but creates it. Action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can visualize, plan, and pray all you want, but nothing happens until you move. The gap between thinking and doing is where most people's dreams die. They overthink every step, trying to predict every obstacle, instead of taking the first small one. But the truth is, clarity comes from action, not from sitting still. You learn what works by doing it. You discover your strength by testing it. You understand your potential by pushing it. The first step might be scary, but that's exactly why it's powerful, because it separates the dreamers from the doers. When you take that first step, you send a message to the world and to yourself, "I'm serious." And once you move, momentum begins to build. The more you act, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more you act. That's how success snowballs. But the fear of failure keeps many people from taking action. They ask, "What if it doesn't work?" Here's the answer. Then you'll learn something valuable. Every failure teaches you a lesson success never could. You can't grow by avoiding mistakes, you grow by understanding them. So instead of saying, "What if I fail?" ask, "What will I miss if I never try?" The truth is, inaction is more dangerous than failure. You can recover from a mistake, but you can't recover from wasted time. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every person who built something great started with a dozen broken attempts, but they didn't stop. They kept acting, adjusting, and improving. That's how breakthroughs happen. The road to success is not made of big leaps. It's made of small steps taken consistently, even when it feels uncertain. Massive action doesn't always mean doing 100 things at once. It means taking bold, focused steps daily. Some people mistake business for progress. They do a lot, but achieve little because their energy is scattered. True action is intentional. It's about focusing on the few things that matter most and giving them your all. Ask yourself, what 3 actions, if I take them consistently for 6 months, will change my life? Then make those your non-negotiables. Eliminate distractions. Don't chase 10 goals. Chase one with everything you have. That's how results come faster. The power of massive action lies in focus and intensity. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something every single day. Small, consistent actions are far stronger than big, occasional efforts. Sometimes the reason people don't take action isn't laziness. It's fear of judgment. They worry about what others will think if they fail. But remember, these people are too busy with their own lives to think about yours for long. Don't let imaginary opinions become real obstacles. The world respects those who try, not those who talk. When you act, you inspire others who've been afraid to start. Action creates ripple effects. Maybe your courage will motivate someone else to chase their dream. So silence the fear, ignore the critics, and move. Those who laugh at you now will one day ask how you did it. You are not here to impress anyone. You are here to progress. Let your results speak so loudly that your past hesitation can no longer whisper. Finally, understand that every great success story started with one brave decision, the decision to act. No one ever felt ready when they began. Read that again. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. The first day of your journey will feel confusing, but the second will feel better, and by the 10th, you'll already be ahead of 90% of people who are still thinking about it. Action builds confidence, confidence builds consistency, and consistency builds success. The next 6 months of your life could completely transform you, but only if you move now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, because someday is a thief that steals your best years quietly. Life rewards the brave, not the hesitant. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. They don't exist. Start where you are with what you have and make it enough. That's how every great transformation begins. The final step in your 6-month transformation plan is perhaps the most overlooked: reflection and adjustment. Many people work hard, but they never pause to evaluate whether their effort is effective. They push forward blindly, and months later, they realize they've been running in circles. Reflection is not about self-criticism. It's about clarity. It's the process of asking yourself, am I moving closer to my goal? Are my actions producing results or just busy work? Without reflection, even disciplined work becomes meaningless. If you want to transform in 6 months, you must schedule time to stop, think, and analyze your progress. This is what separates ordinary effort from extraordinary results. Reflection allows you to learn from both success and failure. When something works, reflection helps you understand why, so you can replicate it. When something fails, reflection allows you to extract lessons instead of feeling defeated. Every small win contains a blueprint for bigger wins. Every mistake contains a lesson worth millions. In your 6-month journey, take time each week to review your actions. Write down what worked, what didn't, and how you can improve. The habit of reflection is like a compass for your journey. It keeps you on course, even when the path is unclear. Without it, you risk wandering into tasks that look productive, but do not bring you closer to your dream. But reflection alone is not enough. You must adjust your strategy based on what you learn. Growth is not about repeating the same actions and expecting different results. It's about experimenting, learning, and optimizing. If a particular habit or method isn't yielding results, don't stubbornly continue. Pivot, tweak, and refine. Flexibility is a hallmark of successful people. They do not see failure as defeat. They see it as data. 6 months is a short but powerful time frame, and it demands constant adjustment. Even small course corrections can have a massive impact when compounded over weeks. The key is not perfection, but improvement. Adjust, then act again, and repeat this cycle relentlessly. Consistency is the glue that turns effort into results. Many people take massive action, but then stop when results don't appear immediately. others acting consistently only when they feel motivated. Consistency is what multiplies your effort over time. Every day you show up, even if imperfectly, adds to the momentum. Every habit you maintain strengthens your discipline. Every action you repeat compounds into results you didn't think were possible. 6 months of consistent effort will achieve more than 10 years of sporadic bursts. Consistency is quiet, unseen, and often lonely, but it builds foundations strong enough to support monumental success. Reflection and consistency go hand in hand because consistency without reflection becomes rigidity. Doing the same thing blindly leads to stagnation, but reflecting, adjusting, and continuing consistently creates growth that is both smart and sustainable. It is the difference between motion and progress. Each week, month, and milestone should be an opportunity to evaluate, improve, and recommit. Your 6-month plan is not just about what you do. It's about how wisely and persistently you do it. The combination of reflection, adjustment, and unwavering consistency ensures that every ounce of effort moves you closer to transformation instead of being wasted. Another key to staying consistent is to celebrate small wins. Most people only acknowledge big results, but success is built on micro victories. Completing a task, learning a new skill, resisting a bad habit, or taking a bold action. Each small win is a signal that your plan works, and it fuels motivation for the next challenge. Reflection allows you to identify these wins. Adjustment allows you to improve upon them, and consistency allows you to compound them. By recognizing progress, you reinforce the habits and actions that will ultimately define your 6-month transformation. Don't wait for perfection. Reward progress, no matter how small. Finally, remember that consistency builds identity. When you show up every day, even in small ways, you begin to see yourself differently. You no longer identify as someone who fails, hesitates, or quits. You become someone who follows through, who learns, who adapts, and who grows. 6 months of reflection, adjustment, and consistent effort doesn't just change your results. It changes who you are. And when your identity aligns with your vision, success becomes inevitable. The discipline you build, the lessons you learn, and the momentum you generate will continue to compound long after 6 months are over. Transformation isn't just a goal. It becomes your new way of life. Now, imagine yourself 6 months from today. Will you be the same person, trapped by hesitation and excuses? Or will you be someone who took control, learned relentlessly, acted boldly, and stayed consistent no matter what? The choice is yours. Transformation doesn't happen by wishing, by waiting, or by hoping for the perfect moment. It happens when you set a clear vision, build unshakable discipline, surround yourself with growth, take massive action, and reflect and adjust relentlessly. 6 months may seem short, but it is long enough to completely change the course of your life if you commit fully. So start today. Take that first step, embrace the challenge, and keep moving forward. Your future self is waiting, and they will thank you for every choice you make today. Remember, the life you dream of is not built by chance. It is built by the choices you make, the actions you take, and the courage to keep going even when the world doubts you. 6 months from now, let your transformation be your story of victory.